If you're over 50 and you've ever thought, remote work is for young people, or online side hustles are too complicated for me, or I missed my chance, I want you to stop right there. Because 2026 is actually one of the best moments in history for people over 50 to start a remote side hustle. Not despite your age, because of it. Right now, the internet is full of content aimed at teenagers, 20-somethings, and people chasing trends. But quietly, behind the scenes, companies, creators, and platforms are realizing something very important. They don't just need speed. They need reliability. They need communication. They need judgment. They need experience. And that's exactly where people over 50 have a massive advantage. This video is not about get-rich-quick ideas. It's not about grinding 14 hours a day. And it's definitely not about learning complicated technology. This is about realistic, flexible, remote side hustles that actually make sense for people 50 and older in 2026. So if your goal is to work from home, stay mentally active, use what you already know, and build something sustainable, you're in the right place. And before we go any further, if this kind of content helps you see new possibilities for your future, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel and tells me to keep making content like this. Alright, let's talk honestly. The biggest mistake people over 50 make is assuming they need to start over. You don't. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to compete with 22-year-olds. You don't need to chase every new app. You need to repackage experience for a digital world. That's it. And the 6 remote side hustles I'm about to share all have one thing in common. They reward clarity, consistency, and communication, not speed or hype. Let's start with the first one. The first remote side hustle for people 50 plus in 2026 is online consulting or advisory work. Now, when people hear the word consulting, they often imagine corporate boardrooms, suits, and complicated presentations. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. If you've spent 10, 20, or 30 years in any industry, you know things that other people don't. And there are thousands of individuals, small businesses, and creators who want access to that knowledge. You don't need a fancy website. You don't need social media fame. You don't need certifications. You need clarity. In 2026, advisory work is happening over video calls, emails, and structured feedback sessions. It might be career guidance, business advice, process improvement, customer communication strategies, organization and planning. Many people over 50 underestimate how valuable their perspective is simply because it feels normal to them. But normal to you is valuable to someone else. The beauty of this side hustle is flexibility. You choose how many calls you take. You choose your schedule. You choose your boundaries. And because it's based on experience, not speed, age is an advantage, not a disadvantage. The second remote side hustle is remote customer support or client success roles. Now, this might surprise some people. A lot of companies in 2026 actually prefer mature workers for customer-facing roles. Why? Because they want calm, clear, professional communication. They want someone who doesn't panic, doesn't rush, and knows how to listen. Remote customer support today is not about sitting in a call center all day. Many roles are email-based, chat-based, or scheduled support sessions. If you can read carefully, write clearly, and stay organized, you already have most of what you need. This side hustle works especially well for people who enjoy helping others solve problems. And here's the key. You're not starting from zero. If you've dealt with customers, clients, coworkers, or the public at any point in your life, you already understand human behavior better than most automation systems ever will. The third remote side hustle for 50 plus in 2026 is virtual assistant work for small businesses and creators. When people hear virtual assistant, they imagine complicated tech dashboards and fast-paced startup culture. But in reality, most virtual assistant work is about organization and communication. Email management, scheduling, file organization, basic research, following clear instructions. Small businesses don't want complexity. They want reliability. They want someone who shows up, follows through, and communicates clearly. This is where people over 50 shine. You don't need to multitask aggressively. You don't need to chase notifications. You need to be consistent and dependable. And in 2026, many creators and business owners are overwhelmed by tools. They're desperate for someone who can help keep things simple. The fourth remote side hustle is content editing, reviewing, or quality control. This one is incredibly underrated. I can generate content fast, but it still needs human judgment. Companies, bloggers, educators, and creators need people who can review content for clarity, tone, structure, and accuracy. This could be proofreading articles, reviewing scripts, checking AI-generated text, ensuring instructions make sense. You don't need to write content from scratch. You need to recognize when something sounds right, and when it doesn't. If you've spent years reading, writing emails, reviewing documents, or communicating professionally, you already have this skill. And in 2026, quality control is becoming more valuable as volume increases. The fifth remote side hustle is online tutoring, coaching, or skill sharing. Now, this does not mean teaching school subjects unless you want to. People look for guidance on all kinds of things: career transitions, basic technology use, organization systems, communication skills, life experience topics. You don't need to be an expert. You need to be one step ahead of someone else. In 2026, learning is becoming more personalized. People want real conversations, not generic videos. This side hustle works beautifully for people over 50 because it's based on conversation, patience, and perspective. And the final remote side hustle, and one of the most overlooked, is AI tool testing and feedback roles. This is where things get interesting. As AI tools explode in number, companies desperately need real users to test their systems. Not engineers. Not influencers. Real people who can give thoughtful feedback. Companies want to know, is this easy to use? Is this confusing? Does this actually help? What feels broken? People over 50 are perfect for this because they represent a huge user group that companies often struggle to understand. This role usually involves trying tools, following instructions, providing written or recorded feedback. No technical background required. And in 2026, this kind of role is growing fast because AI companies cannot improve without real human input. Now let's talk about something important. Why do these side hustles work especially well for people over 50? Because they're not about chasing trends. They're about trust. And trust compounds. You don't need to work more hours to earn more respect. You need to show up consistently. One of the biggest mental shifts you need to make is this: you are not late to the game. You are entering at a moment when experience finally matters again. The digital world is maturing. And maturity favors people who know how to think, communicate, and decide. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, but where do I start? Here's the honest answer. Pick one of these side hustles. Just one. Don't try to do everything. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Choose the one that feels most natural. Then give yourself permission to be a beginner again, without shame. You already know how to learn. You've done it your entire life. And in 2026, the most valuable skill is not knowing everything. It's being willing to adapt without panic. Remote work is not a young person's game anymore. It's a clarity game. A communication game. A consistency game. And people over 50 are actually in one of the strongest positions to win. If this video helped shift your perspective even a little bit, make sure you're subscribed. More practical, realistic content like this is coming. And remember, the future doesn't belong to the loudest or the fastest. It belongs to the people who stay calm, keep learning, and show up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.